Welcome to another edition of Coaching Minute with Brianne Ligori and Friends, where certified coaches help leaders to evolve their coaching skills so they're better able to lead today's modern workforce. Today's guest is Tanya Poppleton. Tanya is an ICF credentialed coach and also has spent the last 5 years as a senior director at the University of Toronto. And as of late, Tanya has actually become a thought leader in the area of leadership development. Tanya, I'm so excited to have you with us here today.
Oh, thank you, Brianne. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, we actually first met in our coach certification for leaders a year or so ago. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying following your journey in thought leadership and particularly on LinkedIn. I've had a chance to read a lot of your posts and articles, and I feel like they always come at like the exact right time when I need to hear that specific message. So thank you for your contribution and truly helping kind of lift us all up as leaders.
Oh, you're very welcome. And yeah, part of the posting is to help others. If they're not quite sure what they're feeling or thinking, then I'm just hoping that it opened doors and open conversations for people.
Yeah, I love that. Right? I love the concept of just being real and just kind of sharing the real things because I think so many of us are feeling those very same things, and not everybody has the courage to share. And I just really, truly appreciate it because it's so needed at this time.
Thank you, and thank you for acknowledging it. And I'm glad it's helping someone. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So, on that note, of course, you're a certified coach. You're also a senior leader in an organization. So, you're kind of bringing those two things together to truly support your team, your organization. So, I'm wondering, what is the number one principle that you operate by as a coach?
yeah, the number one principle is that it's not about me. Coaching isn't about me. It's about who I am sitting with and allowing them to have the space to explore, be curious, and grow. Quite honestly, I don't think we give enough credit to that silent piece of coaching,
Yeah.
but it really is an effective piece. And so it reminds me to sit back. This session is not about me and allow them the space that they need to process either the question that I've asked or the situation that they're bringing to coaching.
Yeah, I really love that concept of it's not about me because I think a lot of people, when they become a leader, think, okay, it is about me in a way. Like I need to have all the answers, and there's all this pressure for them to sort of be up here telling people all the answers. And there's something about the concept of it's not about me is that's so freeing for leaders to say, actually, I don't need to know all the answers, and I can truly just be there with you, kind of almost like walking alongside the person as they kind of self-discover.
Absolutely. And I think it also builds confidence in our team and it builds trust, right? That we're showing that we trust them to do the job that they were hired for and that we're there to support them. So I think it does a lot for who we're working with and who we're coaching too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And of course, you're using coaching with your team all the time, but that's not always the case for many leaders.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, I'm of the mind that all leaders should be certified coaches so that we can truly kind of walk alongside and support people through their path and self-discovery so they can become a better version of themselves. But of course, that's not the reality in today's kind of landscape and leadership. And so I'm wondering from your perspective, as someone who's using coaching all the time, why do you feel that coaching is one of the most important tools that leaders can leverage with their teams?
Yeah, I think it's because it really does allow for individual growth. It builds trust. It demonstrates that we want to empower our teams, and I think it just builds that confidence in people. And I think that really is what we're aiming to do. I mean, we want our everybody, and no matter what your role is, to grow internally. Particularly for me, I want people to grow internally and obviously within the organization.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, of course, there's results and things like that we need to hit, but sometimes when we get so laser focused on just the result, we miss all of the piece about helping people grow. But
Hmm.
when we help people grow, we're going to hit that result, right? So they go hand in hand together in terms of sort of that side by side leadership.
Absolutely. I mean, when people feel empowered and they feel supported, they can do amazing things. And I think we underestimate that, right? But I see it with my team. When I give them, the rope, really, they come with some amazing strategic goals for the department, for themselves, and things that we as an entire department can benefit from. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it connects actually to the content of one of your posts that I saw this week around, I'm enough.
yes,
I am enough, and our people are enough as they are. They're not broken. It's not about necessarily fixing people. And so, operating by this belief that, you don't need to prove anything to anybody, is what you mentioned in the post,
yeah,
even colleagues, the world, and even yourself. And so, I
yeah.
was curious to learn a little bit more about that. Like, tell me a bit more about that concept of not having to prove anything to even yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it took me a long time, but I had to really question why am I doing certain things? Like, is it beneficial for me in my future? Is it beneficial to the department? Is it beneficial to my family even? And I really it's a book that I've been reading, and it's helped me to recognize that even for myself, the goals that I had when I was 20 and 30 and 40 are very different than what they are now in my 50s. And some of those goals I was still trying to achieve. And it might seem like it's a long time. They were a long time ago, but they're continuous goals. Like, for instance, losing weight or, eating healthy. These things are ongoing. But sometimes we have to ask ourselves, are they still beneficial to us? And, you know, that's really about personal growth and self-awareness, right? We might think that they are beneficial. I need to lose that last 5 pounds, but really, do I really need to lose that? Do I really need to have the stress and the angst about losing 5 pounds when, I'm happy or I feel great
Yeah.
or clothes are fitting me, kind of thing. So it really had allowed me to step back and really focus on, are these goals what I really need at this time in my life?
Yeah, I think that's such a great point, and coaching really allows us to explore that. Like, what do I actually want versus what everyone else is around me, or maybe the media and the news is telling me that I want, and really helping people to look inside. And I
Yes.
think this is so fantastic in terms of career development, because
Yeah.
often people are like, oh, I want to get this job or this role, but why do you want that? What's the actual reason behind that? Is that truly what you want, or is that what you feel like you need to do to fit the mold?
Exactly. And the questions in coaching really do help with being able to filter out, what's necessary and what's not,
Yeah.
what's real and what's not, so
Yeah, and it's what's real for you, right? Because that may look different for each person that we're working with on our
exactly.
teams. Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. So speaking of coaching in organizations, if we were to look at coaching in organizations and you were to have any wish, anything was possible, what would
Yeah.
your wish be?
It would be that every organization has a coaching program, and it's available to all staff, regardless of your role within the organization. So, free, obviously, because the
Yeah,
organization is offering it, but um, you know, not limiting it to leaders or up and coming leaders, because there may be people who don't recognize leadership as something that they want, and through
yeah.
coaching, it could be that that's what they desire and do really well at. So it, yeah, if I can have one wish, it's that every organization buys into having a leadership program and invests in that program as well.
Mhm. And what do you think would change in organizations if this were to happen?
Yeah. Well, I think, employees will feel cared about. They'll provide out of the thinking, out of the box ideas that,
Yeah,
leaders may
exciting.
not have ever thought about, right? Coming from various different areas within an organization, you're not always thinking about either the needs of, let's say the facilities. You might not be thinking about their needs in your strategic planning, and or the person who greets you at the front entrance of your building, if that's part of your organization. And so by opening coaching up to everyone, we can hear amazing ideas from every facet of an organization.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing that.
you're welcome.
So, as a certified coach, we could definitely, of course, consider you an expert in coaching. And so, no matter what level we're at with our coaching, we can all continue to learn, to grow, to develop. And so, I'm wondering, what is your practice to continue to develop your coaching skills?
Yeah, well, I mean, professional development is sort of, I don't know, ingrained in me. And so I am always seeking out the next learning opportunity that I can. I'd like to stay connected with the coaching industry. So, joining organizations where there's a community of practice, talking to other coaches, keeping in touch with my cohort
Yeah.
from our program, or some of the things that I do to ensure that I stay on top of my coaching, my self-awareness about coaching, and what ultimately our clients need when they are coaching.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You mentioned a big word there, self-awareness.
Yes,
That's so key for all of us, right? I think sometimes we get into our little bubble and we're just like going throughout the days that sometimes we need to just take a step back and go, okay, where am I really? How am I really showing up? Am I connecting with who I am as a leader, with my values, and really leading authentically? Um,
absolutely. Absolutely. It's so
yeah,
important. I didn't focus on self-awareness when I was younger, but it really is key as we move through, our careers in coaching, in our life in general, right? Just as you said, where are we right now? Um,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us, Tanya. For anyone who doesn't follow Tanya on LinkedIn, I highly recommend that you do because she posts absolutely outstanding, real, in the moment sort of posts and articles that I think that we can all learn from and contribute to. So we really, really
Thank
appreciate you,
you.
Tanya.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. I love your posts as well. I love your organization, and I really, really loved our cohort that we had. I learned so much from so many people, and I was inspired. So thank you.